Welcome to part 11 of the Muppet Monster Adventure Let's Play. In this part we will be doing Escape Clause, which is, wordplay on escape clause. This level is a bit different to the other two. The other two were more like, in more realistic kind of forests and woodland. This one is a more like fantasy approach. Kind of reminds me a bit of Treetops from Spyro too. Well, Spyro as well, not Spyro 2. Yeah, this one's like set in on like giant trees, very high up at like I guess night time. And now we're helping this random old lady get her like fix of mushrooms. Like, I don't know, is this like red mushrooms with white spots? Could be it could be Mario related. Is that Mario? And then again, it's wearing a green dress. Is there a female Luigi? Did Luigi get a super crown and turn into a this like random lady on Muppet Monster Adventure? Yeah, this challenge is alright. Just gotta make it through. Just try not to get hit by these bird heads because they send you down, and it's pretty disorienting if you lose your place. Although I wonder if it is actually faster in some cases just to drop off, run around and then start climbing back up again. But yeah, that's a pretty easy challenge.
See, good work, Robin. You earned this Muppet token, okay?
Yeah, you're right, I did earn the Muppet token. And I give it here. And now we have to leap of faith. It wasn't really much of a leap, that it was more just like a plummet of of faith. So now we've got these witches who their attack is actually pretty fast. So sometimes it's a bit annoying to try and avoid them. And the wolves, and they're a bit like the enemies in the last level, where they start out really small and kind of cute, and then they become these big things. But at least in this level, there seems to be a bit more of an explanation, rather than just the assumption of like toxic waste. And that you actually see the witches hit them with a spell to make them bigger. At least some of them, not all of them. But yeah, this level has a has one big like block or like wall in it that makes it very slow. But this level also always stood out to me. Whenever I think about this game, I always think about. This is one of the levels I tend to think about. I don't know if it's just because it's such a contrast compared to the other like levels in this world, or if it might be because it actually kind of has one that expresses most like the fantasy element the most. Out of a lot of these levels, it's a lot more. It comes in touch with the with like the magic side of like I could say like Halloween stuff rather than just the spooky or dark side of it. I don't know. This level actually has well, not this level. This game has pretty interesting like level concepts. Like, whenever you play other platformers. There's always like the water world, um, the lava world, the desert world, and sometimes they have like interesting twists to them. But this one's more like the castle world, the forest world. I mean the forest world isn't that original, but yeah, the forest world. They sort of what would you call it? Like the sort of archaic ways of life world. I guess is what you call the Deadlands, maybe. And there's a lot of variety with some of the levels too. Like, even if something is a theme, they kind of have sub themes within them. Like, this is all supposed to be in the same forest, so somehow there's like a normal looking forest, and then next to it is this one with the giant mushrooms and stuff. But I noticed some of the enemies here, they don't even drop anything, even though, I don't know, maybe they should have, maybe they just realised, oh, we've placed a couple of extra things somewhere, but it'd be easier just not to move something else than stick it in the enemy. Let's just have the enemy not drop anything. I wonder if those ones don't drop a coin, or whether the enemies that don't drop things drop a coin. I can't remember that actually, what the answer to that would be. Yep, and we got our like no PS1 game is complete without a floating platform that makes like no sense as to why it's there. Ooh. And upcoming is that wall I was talking about, the very slow bit of the game. And it's not, I think it does happen again, this challenge. And it's not even like a proper challenge. There's no like token reward or anything. It's actually just there to sort of pad out the level, because it's just a sort of overextended switch. And it's a block moving challenge, so it's not even like you can move fast while doing it. And what we have is we have 3 blocks on one side, 3 blocks on the other side, but the emblems match the ones on the wall but on the other side, so on like the opposite sides. So we have to move the pumpkins from one side to the other and the cats from one side to the other. So we have to like move the blocks accordingly so that we can not create a blockage. And also had to try and like think of how to do this in like sort of the fastest way, so that we won't be stuck here for ages, because it does take quite a while to get this done, even if you know exactly what you're doing, just because it's just a very slow challenge. So we'll be hearing a lot of heave-hoes. We'll be seeing Robin in his like Monster appearance a lot. He does look like the guy at the gym who like is a bit too obsessed with his protein. Like he talks something like, "Haha, brah, have you had your protein today? I've had like 10 bottles of protein shake. Now I can move these blocks in like 5 seconds." And they call me the tank, and that's because I fire protein. Like, he'd be the guy who can't actually, like, think of a proper, like, comeback, or like, metaphor. He'd just have to, like, rely on his protein. I go to the gym so I can have social acceptance, because I feel insecure about myself. And that's Robin when he gets to talk about his feelings. No, Robin, wrong one. So I don't know if I mentioned already, but yep, this is once again another level that just reuses music. Yeah, that's two levels out of 3, but it's technically not the worst offender in this game for that kind of issue. That comes in the world after next, and I will talk about that when that happens. But if that wasn't enough, that we had to just spend ages doing that block puzzle, this level also wants you to fly back to pretty much the start, like near the start of the level, just to get one piece of evil energy. Now the quick thing would be to just like kill yourself here, and then go back to where that checkpoint was, but I kind of want to keep my hit points. Just to, for the sake of bragging, and also just in case I mess up, at least I've got some extra hit points. The signs are pretty cool in this. I know that I didn't think I'd ever hear myself saying, "Oh, these signs are cool," but I like how they actually move slightly and they got like eyes. Like everything has eyes in this. So I guess if you don't like being stared at, this might not be the game for you. But at least we're almost back to where we were. For now, that is. Because, I don't know if you guys remember, but the bonus box is actually a bit back too, so there is a second time where we have to fly back somewhere and get something. And upcoming we have another race. So this wolf person is like the only one that you can see in its small form. So this wolf child.
Everybody ready? Okay.
From the makers of Wolf Children,
Get set. Go, 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 go.
we have Wolf Child Racing Frog. This anime went in strange directions. But yeah, this race is alright. He will get ahead of you pretty often just because he jumps straight up the thing instead of climbing. And his model can sometimes knock you slightly. So you just have to be careful of that because it might actually knock you off course. An interesting thing they did here was they actually added in some extra platforms because the level's so back and forth. They just wanted a more streamlined sort of race course. So there we have it.
Nice job again. You owe him a Muppet token, bastard.
Okay, now Pepe, the wolf is called Willy. You said before his name is Willy, so why are you calling him Buster? You know, that's just rude. Unless if he likes being called Buster, I don't know. Some people do have nicknames, I guess, that are like nothing like their actual name. But yeah, this overly long level is almost complete, thankfully. Because yeah, while this level is like pretty cool, and I do think of it quite a bit whenever I think of this game. I don't quite like how long it is sometimes. Yeah, we just got getting stuck on the floor there. Just getting the last bit of evil energy. And that's the level complete, hooray! So that was Escape Clause. That's an okay level. It's one I think of more fondly, but don't like as much when I come to it. But yeah, with that, in the next part we'll be doing the Kerr Monster boss. So, see you then.